Climate change protests continue throughout Australia, with accusations of a lack of political debate causing civil unrest.
Erosion on Port Beach causes disruption for local businesses and the surrounding community.
The Perth Royal Show is going back to basics this year, with a strong community and agricultural focus.
The wait is finally over as the award-winning show The Book of Mormon touches down in Perth for the 5th leg of its Australian tour.
This is Notre Dame News. Hello, I'm Courtney Withers.
And I'm Natasha Guest.
Climate change protests are getting more and more prevalent, and local group Extinction Rebellion are taking a stand.
Extinction Rebellion's WA group rallied on the steps of Parliament House this morning to make their message clear to the government. Courtney Withers reports.
Around 2 weeks ago, a letter was sent on behalf of Extinction Rebellion WA Group to Premier Mark McGowan, giving him 14 days to make a direct response to the group, or there would be a rebellion against this inaction. The letter included 3 demands for the Parliament. Firstly, to tell the truth about the current climate crisis, to commit to zero net carbon by 2025, and to enact a citizens' assembly to oversee this transition. As there was no response from the Premier, this group has gathered on the steps of Parliament this morning from 11:30 to protest. The response in WA has followed other recent protests throughout Australia, with more than 100 people being arrested in Brisbane last week during an Extinction Rebellion protest. The Extinction Rebellion group made a name for themselves in October 2018 and are known for the protest in London this year, where over 1,000 people were arrested over 10 days. The group encourages peaceful protests and stated that the only way to get the attention of the Parliament was through civil disobedience and disruption. The group stated that the next 12 years are crucial for action to occur in order to deter ecological collapse. WA has well and truly joined the Climate Rebellion. Courtney Withers, Notre Dame News. The ocean is reclaiming Port Beach as severe winter storms damage both the beach and the business for Coast Restaurant.
Fremantle Council is fighting to save this popular attraction. Here's Brooke Comerford with the latest.
Fremantle Council is fighting to save Port Beach as winter storms eroded away the sand and concrete barriers. Strong winds, along with currents, waves and sea level rising, have all contributed to the erosion of Port Beach over the past 23 years. Damage from the storms has expanded further than a closed beach. Business for Coast Restaurant has been hurt because people are unsure about the safety of the location.
I love Port Beach. I've been coming here over 10 years and it's absolutely fantastic, and we've got a great little community here.
The temporary solution is to pile tons of sand from one end of the beach to the other in an attempt to save Fremantle Surf Lifesaving Club Annex and Coast Restaurant. These sandstone rocks have been placed in an attempt to delay the erosion. Port Beach is man-made, built more than a century ago along with the early construction of Fremantle Harbour and Fremantle Port. It seems as though Mother Nature is taking back what is originally hers. Many other Western Australian beaches seem to be heading for the same fate as Port, such as Metham's Pool in Perth's northern suburbs. Sand dunes are washing away and the steps are in danger of collapsing.
We would love to have the sand back and our beach back. We're not entirely sure how that's going to happen. It seems to be a bit of a coastal issue that is all up West Australia's coast.
Fremantle Mayor Brad Pettit is considering moving the buildings further away from the ocean as a more permanent measure. Brooke Comerford, Notre Dame News.
After years of concerns about the weather and dropping attendance rates, the Perth Royal Show is going back to basics with an agricultural focus.
Some fear that this focus is a little too late, as the show has widely been accepted as a commercialised event that is not affordable for the average family. Courtney Withers reports.
It's opening day here at the IGA Perth Royal Show, and excitement is increasing for families here to enjoy what the show has to offer. The Perth Royal Show has been held by the Royal Agricultural Society of Western Australia for the past 100 years and features exhibits, agricultural competitions, a fairground and rides, and much loved show bags. After the past several years of bad weather and low attendance rates, Chief Executive of the show, Peter Cooper, said the show is going back to basics this year with a strong community and agricultural focus.
There's always been a commercial aspect to the show, but I do believe that the Agricultural Society is trying very hard to have more educational things like this to explain to people, from the city, people that don't have a chance to look at the farming side of things, where their food comes from and how it's processed.
It's just to give city kids a taste of country. Hopefully they'll come back and want to find out a bit more.
The commercial aspect of the show has always been an issue for some families, but it seems that the increased prices over the years are simply not affordable anymore for the average middle-class family. For a family of 4, tickets will cost around $60, on top of show bags that are priced between $4 to $125, as well as rides that will cost around $10 to $20 each.
And I think the entry price, it should be at least free to get in or something like that, and then, then it makes it more affordable once you're in.
From what I can see, it looks like they're pretty high in the price range, and especially for a family, it makes it difficult to have a full day out, cost-wise.
It is quite expensive to come when you've got a family or 4 kids to bring, but it is what it is.
The WA state government scrapped free entry for children in 2015, which has furthered the struggle for families entering the show each year. These are some of the cheapest show bags the show is offering this year, including the widely popular Birdie Beetle show bag that is just $4. But with those with a few more dollars to spend, the most expensive show bag this year is the $125 Fremantle chocolate show bag. There was discussion for the venue of this year's show to be moved from its usual spot in Claremont Showgrounds and changing the date from its regular September schedule after its 5th year of heavy losses, but the show's organisers are refusing to do so. Although they have been under considerable pressure since the show first started to lose money in 2014, officials say that the show is here to stay. The rides at this year's Royal Show have undergone extensive safety checks due to some recent regulatory inconsistencies in certain rides. The main ride attractions of this year's show include the new Ice Dragon and Spiderweb Den.
It was pretty cool. Like, we're not big roller coaster people, so that was pretty intense for us. Pretty fast, pretty fun. Good, I like it. Yeah. Okay, no, that was fun. Like, yeah, it's good.
Following the tragic death of Adelaide Leong at the Adelaide Royal Show in 2014 and recent Northern Territory amusement ride failures, have rides at this year's show been encouraged to undergo even more safety checks. Organisers are confident that the show can be successful this year, provided there is warm weather and consistent attendance rates. Let's hope this year's show will be a royal success. Courtney Withers, Notre Dame News.
The comical and uplifting musical The Book of Mormon has made its way to Perth, 8 years after its original debut on Broadway.
Perth is lucky enough to see this musical at Crown Theatre from September 5th to November 17th. Francesca Danuccio reports.
Since making its world premiere in March 2011, this highly acclaimed Broadway musical has won 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, the Grammy for Best Musical Theatre Album, and 4 Olivier Awards, including Best New Musical.
I think it really subverts the genre of the musical. It's a bit more rude, a bit more crass, a bit more swearing than maybe the average musical, so you get a lot of people that wouldn't normally come to the theatre coming for their first time.
Written by the creators of the contentious animated sitcom South Park, The Book of Mormon tells the tale of a mismatched pair of missionaries who take their work to Uganda. The outrageous and controversial show has sold out theatres all over the world and has even been dubbed as the best musical of this century by the New York Times. Through inviting these international shows to Perth, it not only creates excitement, but it also enriches the diversity of our arts culture.
You can't just have everyone working, you have to have the arts to make you think about music and critical thinking and questioning where you stand on issues as well. And I think some people get offended by this show and they'll walk out after 20 minutes because it does have elements of that, but it embraces a very common storyline, which is the idea that you have to help other people, and I think that can be universally translated.
The musical set a record for the highest grossing on sale of any musical theatre production in Sydney's history and broke the house record for the highest selling on sale period of any production in the history of Melbourne's Princess Theatre. The show is definitely on track to achieving the same success in Perth. Perth's season of The Book of Mormon opens tonight and will run at Crown Theatre until November 17. The Mormons are well and truly ready to preach in Perth. Francesca Danuccio, Notre Dame News.
We will now cross to Francesca for an update on this week's weather.
Another mild spring day today. We reached 21 degrees at about 10 to 2 and right now it is about 17.5 degrees. Let's look across the country now for tomorrow. A shower or two in Melbourne with a top of 23 degrees. Identical temperatures in Sydney but partly cloudy. Brisbane 26 and also cloudy. Back in WA, typical conditions in Broome, 33 degrees and mostly sunny. Exmouth a couple of notches colder. To the south where it's a lot cooler, nowhere in the south will reach 20 degrees. Margaret River 17 and raining and yelling up and Augusta. In the city, it will be a wet morning, a top of 21 degrees across the suburbs. The rain is everywhere and the temperature is pretty consistent. On Tuesday, the rain should clear, still a mild top of 21, though starting to warm up on Wednesday with a sunny 23 degrees. Thursday still climbing. Friday we will reach our peak of the week at 31 degrees and sunny, but on Saturday, although still warm, the clouds are coming in, and on Sunday the temperature will drop back to 28 degrees. A very pleasant way to wrap up the weekend.
Thanks, Francesca. That's Notre Dame news for this Monday. Thanks for your company.
We'll be back with updates later. I'm Natasha Guest.
And I'm Courtney Withers. Good night.